Cookie. This takes place about 8 years ago now. It's been a long time. This was back in the early days, the early 2010s of Minecraft servers, back when the game was released. Minecraft Java servers, no less. No, oh no, I've been playing it for a very long time. I've been playing the Xbox. I've been playing it since it came out or so on the Xbox, and switched over to the PC in 2000. I want to say 13 or 14, but not for very long. You did on Pocket Edition. I played on. No, wait, no, you didn't. No, I played on the Xbox first because I saw some gameplay footage of it a long time ago and got it on the Xbox. Then you told me it was on PC when I got one eventually, so I played it on there. Yeah, they really are. But anyways, yes, I played briefly on Java for about a year in 2013 or 14. It was a very brief time in my life when I played Java on a one server with some friends of mine. It was called the Original Founders Guild, which is about four of us all together. We made up a symbol too back then. Yeah, each color represents a different member of the guild. You've seen it before. Black. Yeah. Yep, there was Tigress, King Grant, and Flare Dragon, were both all members of the guild. Eventually, each one started logging on less and less until I was the only one left on the server who was part of the guild. Now, to skip over an entire series of unrelated events, there was a huge war going on back in the server for a really dumb reason. It really doesn't happen very often, actually. It's one of the 3 times it's happened in my entire life, where a war happened for a very stupid reason. Yeah, it was a war from the Umbrella Corporation, yes, their actual Resident Evil Umbrella Corporation formed this Minecraft server. And then, you guess this, the Resistance formed from a splinter faction of that, because it didn't like how things were run. So yes, 2 factions formed, the Umbrella Corporation and the Resistance formed. Each one hated each other, basically. And for a very dumb reason, honestly. There are 2 factions on the server. Those 2 big factions was the Umbrella Corporation and the Resistance. Dumb names. Now, the thing about these two is they absolutely hate each other for a very dumb reason, which was one was a group of kids, one was a group of adults, and they just hate each other. Which is where I got the catchphrase "youth culture forever" from the Resistance. Oh yeah, and I was still technically a teenager at the time, barely a teenager, but still, and I was neither at this time. I thought I would join the Resistance, but decided very much against it. They are. Eventually, I don't know who started or who put the first shot, but eventually the war broke out, and it was disastrous. No, not really. You can, you can make a very good educated guess on who did the first thing, honestly, but for sure, proof-wise, I don't actually have any proof of who did the first round. Oh yeah, that's not even going to be like a mark on my record of who's probably did it. But yeah, eventually it all came down to about 10 versus 4 of them, which was 10 for Umbrella, 4 for the Resistance, about at the end of the war. And they destroyed the entire hub section of the world. The entire spawn area was reduced to rubble. Any builds near it were basically either conquered or just destroyed because it didn't bother. Yeah, it sucked to be on that server back then, because if you were on either side, you were basically a target. That's why independent groups like mine were just kind of left out of it. Back then, though, I was the only one left, so I had nothing really to defend besides some builds here and there and just random more memorials, but that was, I don't know, its own story. The heck out of the hub and left it for rubble and left it for dead. And so they both all quit the server after that because they kind of just did what they wanted to do, and now they had nothing left to do, and the server was dead. Yeah, they left the server after they destroyed it. Now this is 3 weeks after these events. I'm sitting there in my base, just kind of wondering what to do for the day, because I'm all alone, there's nothing for me really to do. The whole world's basically destroyed from this whole war scenario, and so anyone who's left over is just trying to rebuild, or do something. The whole server's basically dead, the admins don't care, so it's nothing much to do. And so I'm just sitting there actually fishing for once, which I had never really done before. Which back then, this is before the aquatic updates, so the fishing kind of sucked. No. Yeah. So I'm sitting there fishing, and then I hear what I didn't want to ever hear. The sounds of blowing up. I quickly turn around to, what? And just my entire little bunker is up in flames, the forest is on fire, and my base is destroyed. Sorta, yeah. This is the first big server I played on, which had a basic population of about 60 or 66, 67 when it's major sort of things. But it was down to about 30 to 40 now. At least 30 people would quit. Anyway, back to my story now. Probably. Now, back in this time, I was less than good at building things, as you probably know. And as we would have it, you know why my base exploded? I think you know where this is going. This was the... This is the original hatch I built. It's the first time it's happened unintentionally. No, that's not true. That's happened once other time before, too. Oh yeah, it's blown up many times before, but this is the first time intentionally it's really happened. And so yeah, someone pressed the self-destruct button and blew up the base. Yeah. Yeah, someone camped out, pressing buttons, and blew up the base. Yeah, basically. Oh yeah, they annihilated themselves. They didn't know what's happening. The entire base blew up. I was looking at the crater and I found their stuff here. Yeah. They're here for looting. They went for looting and they discovered a very bad site. I know. I sometimes wonder what they were thinking when they did this and what happened afterwards. Because I don't know what happened to them. Yeah. Yeah, because there were two buttons, one for lighting and one for the self-destruct. They were not labeled. They were not labeled. I did not label them. Only I knew what the combination was, and I really should have labeled them. But I didn't think about it. Yeah, they were. Anyway, so I'm in the crater right now trying to salvage whatever the hell I could, honestly, because at this point, this has been a really big disaster. Yeah, basically. I had no one to blame but myself here. Eventually, I decided, you know what? I'm screwed. The whole place is destroyed. My friends are gone. What can I realistically do here? So I started packing up whatever I could and left. I couldn't, but I could explore the server a bit. Yeah, my whole idea was I heard the hub was destroyed. I didn't really know for sure until I would look at it for myself. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna take a trip to the hub. And so I packed what I could and head off there. My, was it actually destroyed? I expected it to be destroyed, but this was on a whole new level. Yeah, this is what I think of when I image 2x2T in the Anarchy server, which is a humongous crater with you couldn't tell something existed there, and if it did, it'd be like a block or two that's floating in the air. Thoroughly destroyed. These guys put in the work to make sure this place was gone. So yeah, that wasn't bad enough. I don't know who did this with it. It was the war at first, someone else afterwards, but they had lava cats everywhere too, just in random spots. It is. They're ancient lava cats too, so they were all stone-wise. They could tell they'd been there a while. Oh yeah, they hated that spot apparently. But no one really joined the server. It was only people still there who didn't really have anything else to do. So no one really joined. Very few people left. Yeah, it was a sunk loss fallacy for most people there. So they just put in too much time to leave. So was I, honestly. That's why I kept exploring the server a bit. Anyway, while exploring the hub section and just kind of seeing if there was anything there at all, there wasn't. I found a road. Kinda. I found a road there. It was somewhat intact. More and more that I go down the road, it was more intact. It was made of obsidian. But they still try to blow it up occasionally. It didn't really work. But I follow the road a bit, and I see this man there who is more like, I would say a hitchhiker, but he's more like a highwayman. He's wearing, his skin is a bunch of rags and whatnot. He looks like he's a mechanic of some type. So I'm talking to him for a bit, and he's creating this machine on the side of the road. I was like, what the hell are you doing? Because I didn't know redstone at the time very well. I'm less than amateur. Yeah, so I'm wondering what he's building, and he tells me he's building a car. I'm like, well, yeah, I'll join you. What do you need to build this thing? Yeah, I thought cars were the coolest thing back then too, because I was actually kind of interested in them at the time. So I thought, drive a car in Minecraft? Heck yeah, man. What do I need to build this thing? So he tells me the parts, and I start scavenging when I could from random builds around the place. Not much, honestly, but there were some doors I salvaged. They're just slow. The best reason we used it was because we could like drive and be AFK at the same time while exploring. Oh, I just thought they were interesting sometimes. Not how they worked, but the way they can get around and certain how they looked. I just found them more interesting back then. So I started helping him build this freaking car, and we move on. I'm slowly disappointed in the speed of this car. My dreams die as we get the car working, and we're going down the road. So far, we're on the road, and eventually the car eventually stops and gets hit by something. The guy comes on the text for, I think we're on Skype or something at the time, and he texts me, hey, we just stopped, get on right now. So I hop on, and the road's been blown up to smithereens. There's random stuff on the ground, so we're like, well, this is crap. So we start cleaning off the road so we can head back on the trail. And we meet someone there on the road, just kind of randomly there. He's actually trying to grab some stuff while he was there, because this was his base, and it got blown up. No, it's beside the road. It's like a little post, whatever it was called. He wanted it to be like a really cool memorial place for the war or something, but it got blown up by some random guy. Ironic. Yeah. Maybe the war memorial gets blown up by the same people who probably started the war. Who knows? So this... Probably, yeah. That's actually more likely story there. But he decides to join us because, well, his life's work just got blown up. So I was like, well, why not? So now there's about 3 of us on the road, and we're going off on our big journey to the new hub, if it ever existed. There's rumors that it existed, but honestly, it's kind of one of those fairy tales we kind of had. Like, oh yeah, you hear about the new hub? What's the new hub? It's a new sort of trading spot they're going about at the end of the road. You can probably guess what happened to that place real quick. Probably, but we didn't know that at the time. Well, most of us really did, honestly. We're just kind of hoping it really didn't. Kind of fool's hope. Yeah. So we're driving down the road still hoping to God this place actually exists and it's not blown to smithereens like everywhere else. And I am. So this place is desolate. It's getting better though as we go along. More trees, more verdant land, as much as it can be at the state of the game. Because you know the textures and the generation of the land back then. Both better and worse in some areas. There was, but it was in an in-between state at the time. Where it has marks of the old world, but it's starting to get into the new generation. Yeah, mostly just hills, random divots, and sometimes the occasional ravine out of nowhere. It's in the middle section of the game, so there was a brief moments of actual real beauty mixed in with utter crap. The road continues for about a few hundred more blocks, and then finally we get caught on something again, which was just a bit of a tree. Someone put a bit of tree in the road. At this point, we're getting really frustrated because we keep having to tear up the road and make sure the car is working. We're getting fed up at this point. Eventually, what's it called? The highwayman starts talking to me more about this so-called hub he's looking for. What he really wants in this whole ordeal is just to have a really good adventure, because he's kind of bored of things, and he's just thinking of leaving, but he wants to have one good adventure before he leaves the game. So, he's taking a trip to the hub and see if it actually exists or not, which is, it's said to be 1,000,000 blocks away, so he's in the long run for this one. Yeah, 1,000,000 blocks it's out very far, and it was extremely far back then too, because back then, nether travel? No. No. There was a way for nether travel back then, but none of us knew about it. It was a weird sort of occurrence, because it was kind of an unknown thing at the time, where most of us knew about, but none of us knew how to do it. It's one of those things where we all knew about, but none of us really knew exactly how to do it. It was just back in the day. Yeah, yeah, but back in the day, it was a bit more glitchy trying to link up portals than it was right now. Cause yeah, we didn't think about that at the time. It just didn't occur to us about the nether travel. But then again, none of us really knew how to do it if there wasn't even a highway there at all, so we didn't bother. There's not like a thing where like there is another highway in every world now. It's basically a luxury. Hell, we were lucky to have a road on us. Usually we had to make a flying machine or just be hoping we'd walk along enough to make it there. Honestly, walking probably would have been preferable to the car, but man, we wanted to go in style. You know what they say about... Sorry, that's what I was thinking. You know what they say about someone with a pickup truck? Once you know they have one, that's all they care. That's all they care about. Yeah, that was the hitchhiker. I mean, the highwayman. Yeah, yeah, the car. People wanted the car. Yeah, it's the random flying machine that we called the car. That drove really slowly across a flat land. Yeah. But hey, it was kind of cool. Plus, you had little tires. Oh, yeah. And so we go down the road a few more times. We AFK for, I shit you not, 3 whole days. We went AFK for 3 days on interruption. Just waiting around. You pop on every now and then to see if the road get blocked or something. But no, it took 3 days for the road to get blocked again. So I was kind of happy. We made about 1,000 blocks or so from this whole mess. It took 5 days to get about 1,000 blocks. So yeah, pretty pitiful. Yeah. We make it to the actual first real outpost, which is sort of like a landmark for people who make it 1,000 blocks. Actually, somewhat intact. We can tell a building was there, which is actually surprising. Yeah, it was. It was a wreck, to say the least. But it was there. It was somewhat functional. The door was there, I think. Yeah, it was. There's holes in the wall, so we could just walk through that. But we were civilized. We used the door. Yeah, the place was looted to hell, so there was nothing really there. I don't know what to expect, honestly. Yeah. So we eventually get our gear, and the highwayman eventually kind of comes to the same conclusion we all have at this point. Man, fuck the car. Yeah, he says his farewells to it. There was coordinates, I believe, at this time. Or we had the map, either way. Oh god, I forgot we ditched the map. We got so shit at the map, we just started ditching it. No, actually, you can. They're just a bit different. They just appear naturally in Bedrock, where meanwhile you have to access the dev screen in Java. They're just always there on the corner, in the top left corner. They're always there. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we can find the coordinates, we keep track where we're going, and it's a crap show. We just eventually ditched the car and said, you know what? You've done us good, but you're a piece of crap. So we just book it. Yeah, he was. He never wanted to admit it, though. He fought to the bitter end about his car. Until eventually he got fed up with it, too, and I had to say goodbye to it. Although, if you ever ask him, probably, he'd say, yeah, that car was the best thing I ever built. Because I asked him later on down the road, I was like, hey, man, what about the car? You're just going to leave it there? You're not going to, like, tear it apart or take the parts with? And he told me, that car was the best thing I ever built, man. I'm keeping it there as a remember. Probably. It's useful parts, so I doubt that anyone would have... Actually, that's a lie. I wouldn't have taken that thing apart. They're not useful parts. They're keeping the engine around. The server was borderline anarchy. Everything that wasn't nailed down was taken. Yeah. I say borderline anarchy because killing was technically not allowed, but there were ways around it. Yeah. So eventually just book it the rest of the way. Eventually... It was, honestly. We made great timing this way. We made a few thousand blocks this way in a matter of 2 days. We took a lot of breaks, mind you, but still. It is, but we took a lot of breaks, honestly. We played like an hour a day or something. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, definitely. But no, we weren't that dedicated to get there, honestly. We took our sweet time. After the car incident, we just kind of took our sweet time to try. We wanted to explore more than anything, less than get to the hub. Yeah, I'll just tell you now, it does. It ends in a stranger way, honestly. So eventually we hit this place, and you know what this place is called? It's such a lovely name. It's called Junktown. Yeah. So the place, and I asked the dumb question, why is it called Junktown? He's like, take a look out the window, you fucking maniac. So I look out the window, it's just absolute crap shack all over the place. We looked out the window, and it's just nothing but debris, random crap. The window we had on there. Yeah, we're in this building talking to one of the people who was there, because we actually found people living there. At least 3 people living there. And I was asking him why it was called Junktown. He said, look out the window. I look out the window, and yeah, I can see why. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no. We were in the settlement talking to some people, and it's just, he looked out the window. This whole place is crap. You think I boosted Bill bad? Look at these guys. They were dirt huts, man. Dirt huts! Oh, yeah, because they 100% expect people to come there and just blow their shit up. So they prepared for the worst. They just wanted to build the bare minimum and just live there. Ain't getting out of this chair, was their motto. Ain't getting out of this chair. Yeah. He just sat there and waited with his freaking sword waiting for the end. Oh, trust me, you'll understand why I'm telling the story near the end. So eventually he tells me the very first thing I don't want to hear. You hear about the new group forming? And I got chills on that one, like, what group forming? The last time I heard that, a fucking war happened. I don't want to hear that happening again. So yeah, it's like the remains of whoever survived the actual war is coming together to regroup people for something. They never said what, but apparently they are doing something weird. So I'm instantly curious, but also absolutely terrified of who's reforming, what's this group's name, and what's going on. I'm sad to admit what his name was, who was leading the group. People just call him DJ. That was his name on the server. People just call him DJ. I don't know why exactly. His name wasn't DJ, but people call him DJ. Ah. Yeah. So yeah, apparently this guy who people call DJ, I don't know what his real name was, but people just call him that for some reason. It was forming a whole new group here. I don't know what they call themselves, honestly, but they were forming a group, and I don't know what they were doing. So I'm instantly confused. Like, should we even go to the hub anymore? Because now I don't want to quit now, suddenly. Now they're convincing me, no, man, no, we have to see this through. It's an adventure. I don't want an adventure anymore. This sucks. I want to go home and just fish all day in my crater. But the highwayman convinced me to head onwards, so I was like, you know what? Okay, just to see this adventure through, I'll go one more time. And then I'm quitting this service. It's getting ridiculous. I literally abandoned my friend's builds because I was so sick and tired of the server now. It's gone to hell and back. That's how much I hated this place now. So we eventually head on more and more to the hub, and we get more and more signs of, yeah, this group is causing some really whack crap. Yeah, they found a way past the admin's rules, and they're just fucking shit up now, for the sake of it. Yeah, they turned it from borderline anarchy to complete anarchy. Because of boredom. That was the whole reason, they're just bored. Yeah, surprisingly. Yeah. A whole society formed for breaking their boredom because they got bored. And yeah, so they became raiders, basically. They just raided whatever they want, killed whoever they want, and did whatever the hell they wanted. With little no regard to anyone else besides themselves. And even then, that was a stretch. Yeah, basically. In fact, that was their excuse for everything. It's just a game, bro. Yeah. Oh, I know. So we hear more and more about this group, and I'm just getting more and more demotivated until eventually I hit a breaking point where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna fuck their shit up. What can I do to kill them as fast as humanly possible without being caught? Oh yeah, I wanted to raise hell, and I was going to, by God. And so, a little birdie told me there's a stockpile of goodies nearby. I mean, not nearby, but you get the idea. Yeah, closer than the new hub, and just what I needed to brighten my day. And so I convinced the highwayman and the other guys, like, hey man, I want to take these guys out. What can I do to convince you to? And so the highwayman, all he really wanted was just a fun time and a good adventure, and the other guy, honestly, he wanted something a bit weird. He wanted a piece of sugar cane and something else. I don't remember exactly what it was. Oh, I know why now. He wanted to, quote unquote, fly. Quote unquote, fly. There are no lights in the game at this point, so I don't know what he meant by that, but I can make you fly. I can do that for sure. I don't know. He's kind of weird to begin with, and he just kind of said nonsense sometimes, so probably, but like he's probably high during most of the session we were doing, but still. He wanted a piece of sugar cane and to fly. So I kept mine in the bargain for him. And Highwayman, all he wanted was just a good adventure to end off his session with, because he wanted to leave the server too, so he wanted a good adventure, so he had to get some good memories of this place instead of just the crap he had to go through. So yeah, we had a good old jolly time finding new crap. And we eventually find this amazing little bunker filled with to the brim with weaponry. It was the, what's it called? The Umbrella's bunker. I don't know how they made it out here, but apparently they did. When we found these quote-unquote logs, which is their signs cussing each other out mostly. It explained yeah, it's just a bunch of signs and then they left for each other to troll each other. But it did explain a little bit of the story behind the bunker. Apparently they were trying to build this little outpost out here to try to really warn people or try to scam people or whatever the hell they were doing. Apparently they built this bunker out here to really either scam people or to make some tolls. Like, you know those tolls they have where you have to pay change and whatnot? Yeah, that's mainly their plan, just build tolls. So yeah, they're the evil government now. That never was. Yeah. I mean, I was tempted to blow up the place with weaponry, but no, I've got better plans for this. I won't say much on that yet. Eventually, me and these few guys, we all had to carry what's on our backs, whatever the hell weaponry we can carry, and just moved on. I scrapped the door because I hated it. I scrapped their door because it was cooler than mine. I was spiteful of them, so I scrapped their door in defiance. No. I told them about my door, though. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and scrapped their door so they wouldn't prove that theirs was better. I was a spiteful kid back. I was actually a teenager, though. I was a spiteful teenager back then. I was hateful and spiteful for no real reason. So, yeah. But we slowly get back on the road here, and we want to book it to the hub as fast as possible, see what's going on, and hopefully blow some face. I said that really weird. Yes. We eventually make it, after, what, like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks now, to the new hub. It actually existed, as actually not a piece of crap. I wouldn't say function, but it did exist. That's what matters. Kinda nice doesn't mean it was nice. I just said it was better than a hole in the ground. Hey, it wasn't a hole in the ground. We're used to blowing up buildings, random bunkers, and all kinds of wasteland crap. It sounds like a Fallout game almost.
So when I see like a pristine, nice build, I expect anything that's they're gonna be nice. Out here, not much is really happening, but there was actually a group out here who was actually causing crap around. They kind of ransacked the town a bit, but they wanted to keep it pristine and whatnot because they kind of hate blowing shit up. It's kind of a weird thing with them. They hate people that kill people, but don't blow shit up. That was kind of weird. Yeah, basically. They're like, we kill people, we murder them, but we want to be clean about it. Come on, guys, we have some class. That was their weird thing, anyway. So yeah, we eventually find their weird base, which is honestly, I don't want to even describe what it looked like. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, another base too. And I know what they tried to do with this base. I know what they tried to do. It didn't really look like it, but I could definitely tell what it was. No, it's just a middle finger. Man, these guys really hated everything. They just want to see the world burn again. Yeah, basically, nothing left here. The adults were doing their own thing mostly, and the few that were around were mostly just kids or teenagers. Ugh. Yeah, we all hated each other back then. I was a teenager. I hate everybody. Yeah, we all have. Anyways, I set out to do what I do best, and that's blow crap up. Yeah, I blew up both their bases. No, not the hub itself. I kept the hub intact. I had no quarrel with them, but those guys, I hated their guts. I wanted them to die. So I stole their stuff. So I stole everything they had. I buried it outside their bunker, wherever the hell they had, and I just blew up a few of their bases. The group that was forming and never learned a name, never cared to learn it. No, it wasn't their shit. It was another people's shit. It was the original people who were there. They wanted to start the war in the first place. The Umbrella Corporation. Yeah, it was their bunker, and they were like a super villain in their own rank, but they left. So no, they were found this place. They were looking for other crap. They tried to find it, but they never did. Yeah, I honestly like the architecture, and that's the main reason why I didn't blow it up. I actually like the architecture a lot. I thought it was cool. Except for the door, I did break that. I didn't like the door. I did. This I didn't. I thought it was better than mine, so I took it. So I took all the crap. I buried it outside in the chest somewhere because I thought I might go for it later on if I had the room for it, and then blew up their bases. Yeah, that was a big mistake. I didn't realize what that would start, honestly. I just caused a whole another war situation to happen. No, I made sure I was on an hour where they probably weren't online. However, one person was online. They were just crouching in the corner AFK, but he was in the room alright, and he saw me doing it. Well, they found out it was me, and I was unaffiliated. They kind of were like, well, what should we do? He's unaffiliated. He's like, we can just attack his group. He has no group. And well, the thing was, the hub and them have had a very uneasy alliance. It's like, you don't bother us, we don't bother you, sort of thing. They are just kind of waiting to see if they do anything, so they have a reason to kind of blow shit up because they don't really want to, but if they have to, they have to. And so they had a reason then. Yeah, it was reason enough for them. So they started a little war with the hub.
Yeah, and they had something I did not expect them to have. I really didn't expect them to have. They had actually someone who was good at redstone with them, which is actually pretty rare back then. To really have someone who's good with redstone. Yes, and these are before many tutorials were performed, and the ones that were very complex, and you would basically need to know redstone to understand them. He did. He knew redstone very well, and you know what he rebuilt, which was actually extremely badass and really cool? Not. He rebuilt the bomber plane. They got the parts from the original one because the other guys laughed. They were like, "He's not using them. Well, let's rebuild it." Simple as that. They rebuilt the plane. I was amazed at that, but more certainly I was more concerned. Well, bewildered, amazed, and concerned. No, these ones were very primitive, extremely advanced, and honestly very big. They're easier with slime blocks, but are possible without them. Although they are very bulky, extremely complex, and honestly not really worth building unless you just have a ton of spare parts lying around. Which they did. The perfect storm. Oh yeah, and there's only one guy who's good with redstone too, so that's all I needed was just one good guy with redstone. No, not really. And once I was going, it was lagged the whole service, but we all knew what was going on when he did it. Like, I remember this. Oh no, what have I done? The war didn't last even 5 minutes. Oh yeah. The first war was completely unrelated to me. The second war I accidentally started. That was the end of the server, that was that. Pretty much. And I was shitting, honestly. I kind of deserved that, but not the doom of everyone else. No, but I wouldn't say I was happy about the situation, but I didn't really care all that much. Yeah. Eventually, and this is the very end of the story now, which was the kind of the revenge arc of everything, and everything led up to this portion of this, the very end of the server. The server admin said, "Hey, we're shutting down. Things are getting too crazy. It's getting too much to hold the server together. We're shutting down 3 days." I wasn't really all that unhappy, but I was planning to leave the server anyway. Yeah, but we had one last hurrah basically before the server ended. Other anarchy. It was person against person. Yeah, basically. They had one more base that would need to be destroyed. People found out who destroyed the first two bases. Found me is like, how'd you do that? Like, I have a ton of stockpile gear, man. You want some? Remember that bunker I found? I didn't destroy it. Yeah, I thought I might need some stuff there, so I didn't destroy it all. I didn't expect me to ever go back there, but hey, war is war. Yeah, so we took whatever was left there, and we went off in flying machines, which were extreme print at the time, we called war pods, and we just rained down death upon them. When I say rain death, I don't mean like it was the bomber plane successful sort of runs, but it was more, we did it, but it wasn't very pretty. Because it would be fucked up one time would have been the end of us. We had to be very precise with our TNT sort of shoving, or else we would have died. Most of us died. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I ended up landing in some water, though, in this small little lake, so I ended up surviving that whole ordeal. Barely, but did. Yeah, eventually I just kind of get tired of things. I say goodbye to the highwayman and the other guy, and retreat to my old lair. The crater that was the hatch. And you can guess, I just stared at my old friend's bases, said goodbye, and didn't fish for whatever time I had left. Yeah, it was an unglorious end to a very fun story.